Today we have everything from travel authorizations. We got photos of a volcano that can impact travelers for cruises. We're going to talk about a dry dock for a ship. We have got more norovirus being reported and lots more. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Wednesday. It is March 19th of 2025. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, will you please go ahead and click on that subscribe button. And if you appreciate my videos, please give this video a thumbs up. Let's start at the top talking about the travel authorizations. So the ETIAS is what the EU is going to require in the future to be able to travel to the EU from most countries in the world. I'll just sum it up that way. No matter where you live, you should look and see what your requirements are. But for a long time, until just recently, they've had truly for years now kept moving the date back that it's going to be implemented. And until just very recently, it said at the end of the second quarter of 2025. So I have been watching like every day to see if it was going to be required. And then their official website, I believe it was last week, started saying not until the last quarter of 2026. So if you have got plans to travel anywhere in the EU in 2025 and 2026, just right until that last quarter, you don't need to worry about it. You can check that worry off your list. The ETA for the United Kingdom is still very much required. And I do have a note for you about that. When that went into effect, I believe it was on January 7th of 2025, you were required to have it if you were visiting the United Kingdom, as well as if you only had a layover at an airport in the United Kingdom. But they had so many people who were arriving unprepared that they went ahead and extended the deadline only for people who only have a layover in the United Kingdom to July. Well, you know what? July is coming quickly. We are already at the middle of March. And so if you are going to be traveling to the United Kingdom, even just with that layover, don't forget to get your ETA. My other reminder with that is make sure that you use their official website. There's an official website for the ETA with the UK, as well as an app. The app is just called UK ETA, so make sure you get the real one, because if you just Google it and you get the wrong one, then you could get a company that's going to charge you extra to process that for you, or it could be a scammer. So try to get away from just Googling things to find the website, and if you Google them, just be really careful. But for that ETA, the app is called UK ETA, and it's easy to do. So just wanted to bring you up to date on that. Next up, let's talk about the Regal Princess. So I let you know about what's going on with the Majestic Princess, and it's underway right now with the Majestic Princess. I've got a lot of questions about why is the Regal Princess having a dry dock in Rotterdam, and what are they going to be doing? Well, if you have been around, back in November, there were cruises that actually had to be canceled on the Regal Princess sailing from Galveston. That was due to the fact they had engine problems. So they canceled a couple of the cruises, and then they started sailing again. But in January, they had some cruises that they altered the itinerary some and had like a long overnight in places trying to get the engine and everything that needed to be repaired. I guess they got some things fixed, but not everything. And so what's going to happen is the Regal Princess is going to depart from Galveston on her transatlantic. When they get to Southampton, they have had to cut that cruise short and cancel the next cruise. So they'll drop everyone off a little bit early there in Southampton, and then they'll take the ship to Rotterdam for an emergency dry dock to get everything fixed with the engine, propulsion, so everything is working just fine. So that is what that dry dock is for. It's not one where they're going to do the carpet or fix the, do anything else. It is very much to get the mechanics there working just fine on that ship. So we're really excited to hear how it goes, and excited to hear from everyone who gets to sail on that transatlantic, as well as gets to sail on it right after that dry dock. I will add, it comes to my mind, in 2022, we took the Regal Princess to the Mediterranean, and at that time, she had just barely come out of a really big dry dock. She was completely refreshed, looked absolutely beautiful, and last summer, in June of 2024, when we were on the Regal Princess, she still looked fantastic. And so she is in great shape. We're going to go on her again in August. I'll take you along with us and let you know what that looks like. And we're really excited. I don't think she needs a dry dock, to get a facelift. I think she's looking great. So next up, really quick, I wanted to let you know that the Queen Elizabeth Cunard ship has just barely finished her dry dock in Singapore. The press releases talk about the fact that they have updated a bunch of the public areas on the ship to make it a little bit fresher and still a lovely place for guests to be able to enjoy the views and the ocean and everything. They have also refreshed some of the decks and saying that they've added some extra shade to make it really nice for guests to be able to view the beautiful scenery in Alaska, is what they pointed out. They're probably pointing this out because the Queen Elizabeth is headed to Alaska for this 2025 Alaska season. She'll be mostly doing 10 and 11 night cruises. There are a couple of 7-night cruises tucked in, but mostly it's 10 and 11 night cruises. So if you would like a little bit longer trip, go take a look at the Queen Elizabeth. I've not done Clearly Cunard to Alaska yet, and to be honest, there's a couple of other cruise lines I would like to try first. So let us know in the comments if you want to try Cunard to Alaska, if you have already done Cunard to Alaska. I happened to look at the cruise fares yesterday, and they're really quite reasonable, actually. And so if you want to go to Alaska, that's always a good option. Alrighty, next up, let's be talking here about these photos. So one of our Let's Go family members sent me photos of that volcano that is on Mount Spur up there in Alaska. So I talked to you about it the other day, and then he was so kind to send these to me. So Anchorage is kind of here, and you've got this bay right here, and then the volcano here on Mount Spur is over here. And so, like I said, the seismologists, the volcanologists, they would all really like to be able to predict when that volcano is going to erupt, but of course nobody really knows. But they are paying extra close attention to it. And one of the biggest measurements that they can kind of compare over time is that in December, the amount of sulfur dioxide gas coming off was 50 tons per day. And their most recent measurement not too long ago was 450 tons per day. So that's a big difference. They feel like some of the magma is coming closer to the surface. And I guess we'll see if there's an eruption or not. As far as cruises to Alaska, they wouldn't be in the way of a ship. That would have to be a huge, huge, huge eruption to do that and destroy an awful lot to impact it that way. But back when she erupted in 1992, it actually impacted flights. The amount of ash in the air and everything made some of the flights not be able to go. So we are going to go to on a cruise in Alaska and end up in Anchorage in May. So I'll pay attention and let you know what it looks like, and I'm really excited to see. So if you are going to be there before then, let us know what you see. And a big thank you again to our Let's Go family member for keeping us up to date and for sending me the photos. Thank you very much. Alrighty, here is our point of discussion today. So I really want to hear from you in the comments and just see what you think. So I have been paying a lot of attention as all of the news reports roll in for different ships that have to report norovirus. And we only hear about it really when they have to report to the CDC. The CDC has a rule that if you have a cruise ship that has more than 3% of the guests or crew having norovirus, they have to report it to the CDC. Well, most recently, it's the Rotterdam. The Rotterdam right now is in the middle of a 21-day voyage. But the way the breakdown works is they left Fort Lauderdale on March 7th and they went down to the Southern Caribbean. They came back as part of the same 21-day cruise, came back on the 15th, and that is when they had to report the norovirus. So just on that short cruise, they had norovirus. On the 15th, the ship took off again for the rest of that 21-day cruise. So they are right now, the portion of the cruise is around trip Panama Canal. So that's where they go in, a set of locks and then go into Gatun Lake, turn around and come back. So they will be back in Fort Lauderdale on the 28th. But like I said, it was at the end of the 7-day cruise that they had to report that norovirus. And they even said that they requested stool samples from people so that they could verify that it really was the norovirus. And indeed it was. And so I keep thinking of which ships have to report this, and I've actually been following along quite well. And it stands out to me that the Regal Princess that has been going back and forth doing these full transits the Panama Canal has had a couple of their cruises now that they have had reported, including the one that we were just on. And then Holland America has been popping up with cases as well. And I feel like, and tell me what you think, I feel like I see these ships having to report more than, every once in a while. Very infrequently do we hear of it on Norwegian or Royal Caribbean or Carnival. We do every once in a while, but not with the regularity that we've been hearing of it on these cruises lately from Princess and Holland America. So I try to figure out, what's the difference? And sometimes you think, well, it's a longer cruise. But like with this one, was just the Rotterdam, it was just a 7-day cruise. By the end of that 7-day cruise, they had to report it. And so the only other thing that really stands out to me is the overall average age of the guests on board. And, this time of year they're sailing in warmer waters, but that doesn't have anything to do with norovirus. So I don't know what to think. Tell me what you think about all this. Clearly, we all need to wash our hands more than we're washing our hands. They ship, all of the crew members on all of the ships do an amazing job of cleaning and cleaning and cleaning, keeping everything as disinfected as possible. At the first note that they maybe have some norovirus, they kick into higher protocols to clean even more. But if people aren't washing their hands, that's not going to fix anything. And so when you go on a cruise, don't forget to wash your hands. It seems like something that is so simple and so basic that it couldn't possibly change the world, but it can. And so just kind of keep that in mind. It can change the world with health on the cruise ship, definitely. So let me know what you think about this in the comments, and we'll go from there. I'm sure I'm missing something and what else to think about the ships that have been having to report that lately. So look forward to hearing what you think, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.